I have been with groups who have been doing longitudinal studies on how Christian theologians think, and I can see the shift more and more pronounced every day to a position of loving acceptance of gays, even if there is not love and acceptance of gay behavior. I think that there will still be confines against homosexual erotic behavior, but I think our attitudes towards homosexuals are going to change very greatly in the next 10 years.
I think there are areas where it can shift, will shift, and should shift. For example, when I was growing up, I think in the church, homosexuality hardly got talked about at all. If it did, there was very little understanding of why someone might have that orientation and all kinds of myths around that. I think as time passes and as science, both biological and psychological, goes on, there's greater understanding of how that orientation arises and a much greater understanding of the fact that there's a very, very large genetic predisposition component that's involved. And I think understanding that can help people in the church be much less judgmental and superficial.
You are more than who you have sex with. Because if you were in a car accident and you were castrated and you were now sexually androgynous, would you still be fully human? No, of course the answer is yes. And so I'm not going to relate to you based on your sexuality. I refuse for you to choose the bucket through which I define you and me.
We're supposed to hate the sin, but love the sinner. You've heard that line, haven't you? I just want to point out to you that that's a complete contradiction to what Jesus says. Jesus never says, love the sinner and hate the sinner's sin. Here's what Jesus says. Love the sinner and hate your own sin. And after you've taken care of the sin in your own life, then perhaps you can go looking for sin in other people's lives. Isn't that what he really says?
My job isn't to figure out who you have sex with. My job is to help you connect to the God who passionately loves you and created you. And I have enough confidence in God. Look, God should be more concerned about your sexual orientation than me. I should be concerned about you connecting to God. And then I'll just let you and him begin having those conversations, and we'll let them go where they go. You know, you might consider that a cop-out, but I look at my life and I go, I came to faith in Jesus the week I turned 20 years old. And no one started telling me that I need to change this and change this and change this. Me and God started having some very intimate, personal conversations about stuff in my life that nobody knew. And I figure if God could talk to me about stuff in my life that needed to change, God can talk to you. And so what I want to do is get you and God in a conversation. And I'll let him do what I'm not supposed to do.